In this video, we are going to find the intersection of a line and a circle. Alright, sometimes that's described as solving a system of equations. But the information that we're given, we're not fully given the equation of a line and we're not given the equation of a circle, but we're given enough information that we can come up with the line equation and the circle equation very quickly. So the equation of the line that has slope 1 and y-intercept 2 would be, hold on, y equals, I'm going to say 1x minus 2, just to make it clear that the 1 is here the slope, the y-intercept is negative 2. We're talking y equals mx plus b. Now we don't write the 1. So now how about that circle? Well, let me draw a line for that one. Since the center is 0, 0, then we're just going to have x squared plus y squared. The radius is 4, guess what? 16, because the radius squared goes right here. So this is all ready to substitute and whatnot, so I'm going to take this situation and put it in for y right there. So I'm going to wind up with x minus 2 squared because of the y squared. Now I'm going to bring the rest of this down, so it's going to be x squared plus this is equal to 16. So I'm going to have x squared, but then I'm going to have to multiply this out. So it'll be x minus 2 times x minus 2 is equal to 16. So then this double distributive property is about to happen. So I'm going to wind up doing x times x and x times negative 2. So that's going to give me x squared and negative 2x. Alright, but then I'm going to distribute these. So negative 2 times x is another negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. So I'm bringing this down, so that's x squared plus and equals 16. So combining like terms now, x squared plus x squared, that's 2x squared. Negative 2x and negative 2x is negative 4x. And might as well subtract this 16 from both sides. Okay, so that's going to give me minus 12 equals 0. Okay, now I'm noticing that all of these are divisible by 2, so why not make your life easier by doing that? Okay, so that's going to give us x squared minus 2x minus 6 is equal to 0. Now this might be factorable, so let's give that a try. X squared is x times x. Looking at the 6, I'm thinking, alright, that's either going to be 2 times 3 or 1 times 6. You know what? Neither one of those is going to give us 2x in the middle. Okay? Neither one of those are going to work out. So that makes me think, let's try the quadratic formula. Maybe it's going to be a decimal. So we have no choice. So quadratic formula it is. Oh man, really? Yeah, deal with it. So the quadratic formula is x equals opposite of b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And here, for this particular problem, the a value is 1, alright, because there's an invisible 1 right there. The b value is negative 2, and the c value is negative 6. So I'm substituting these into the quadratic formula. Alright, so that's going to give me, so the opposite of b would be positive 2. So I've got positive 2 plus or minus square root. And then it's b squared. So I've got this negative 2 squared minus 4. A is 1, so I don't need to write that down. But then c is negative 6. All over 2a. Well, 2 times 1 is just 2. I would calculate the discriminant next by itself. So negative 2 squared minus 4 times negative 6. So that's giving me 28. Okay, so that means I have 2 plus or minus the square root of 28 over 2. And x equals this. Okay, so we're going to have some decimals about to happen. So I think we're just going to round. We're going to approximate. So let's do 2 plus radical 28 over 2, or 2 minus radical 28 over 2. That will give us our two different decimals here. So let's see, 2 plus radical 28 over 2. Okay, so we'll toggle that, and so that's approximately 3.6. I'll round to the nearest tenth, so 3.6. Or, and now we'll do 2 minus radical 28 over 2. And I'm going back to re-edit. If you go back on the calculator and highlight something, you can edit it, and that way I can just change this to a minus. Okay, it gives me this, toggle it, that's negative 1.6. Okay, so these are my x values, but I still need the y values to go with them. So I'm going to bring that up here as a table. Okay, so my x values are 3.6 and negative 1.6. So there's 3.6 and negative 1.6. Now, to find the y value, I'm going to use this equation. So the y value will be the x value minus 2. So if I do that, 3.6 minus 2 is 1.6, and negative 1.6 minus 2 is negative 3.6. Okay, so these are our solutions. 3.6 comma 1.6 is one solution, and negative 1.6 comma negative 3.6 is the other. Why did I put 2 parentheses on that? Silly me. Silly me. So those are our two solutions. I had to approximate. Alright, let's do one more example like that. So let's see, how much space do I have over here? Alright. So our first equation, the line, slope negative 1/2. So that means y equals negative 1/2 x, and y-intercept is 10. So that's plus 10. So there's our line. Right? I feel like I should draw a line between this and our other problem. And another line. Why not? Now our circle with center of negative 30, 20. So this would be x plus 30 squared and then y minus 20 squared. Radius of 10 means r squared, so 100. Okay, we're going to have to flatten this out. It's a little bit more complicated than the last one. In fact, I might have to switch to a smaller pen and write a little smaller. Okay, so this guy right here is going to be x plus 30 times x plus 30. And here I've got y minus 20 times y minus 20. Alright, so going to have to do a little double distributive property here with the x. So that's going to give me x squared plus 30x. Okay, but then I'll do another double distributive property here. So that'll give me another 30x plus 900. Okay, then I'm going to have to do the same thing here. Y times y, so that's y squared. Y times negative 20 is negative 20y. Okay, then I distribute the negative 20. So that's going to be negative 20y, and then plus 400, is equal to 100. Okay, so time to combine like terms and stuff. So I'm going to have x squared from that, and then might as well go to my y squared. The 30x plus 30x is 60x. Okay, negative 20y, that's negative 40y. So that's all the variables. Got to put these together, but might as well subtract 100 right now. So you know what I mean. So this is 300. When you look at this right here in your mind, think 300. So we have 900 plus 300. So that's 1,200. Is equal to 0. Meanwhile, we know that y equals negative 1/2 x plus 10. So we're going to have to take this negative 1/2 x plus 10 and substitute it in for the y's. So we're going to substitute it in here and here. Okay, so this could get a little messy. So I'm going to have x squared, alright, just brought that down, but then the y squared is going to become this sort of parentheses squared. And inside the parentheses I'm going to have the negative 1/2 x plus 10. And then that brings me to the 60x, and then the negative 40y. So again, for the y, I'm going to have the parentheses, and again that's negative 1/2 x plus 10. And then I've got the plus 1,200. Whoa, too many zeros. Alright, it's equal to 0. There's your other 0. Okay, but this part right here is going to have to double distribute again. So it'll be negative 1/2 x plus 10 times negative 1/2 x plus 10. So then I've got the plus 60, and definitely going to have to go ahead and distribute right here. Okay, so that's going to give me positive 2x. Alright, negative times negative is positive. 4 times 1/2 is just 4 over 2, which is 2. And then I'm going to have minus 40, right, from the negative 4 times 10. And then that'll be, whoops, let's go back to blue. Alright, that'll be plus 1,200 is equal to 0. Okay, so back here, I'm definitely going to bring down my x squared, but time for a double distributive property. So 1/2 times 1/2 is 1/4. Negative times negative is a positive, so this will be 1/4 x squared. And then half of 10 is 5. So this will be negative 5, because a negative times a positive is a negative, and we'll have the x because of that. Alright, then we need to distribute the 10. Well, again, that's going to make negative 5x. Alright, half of 10 is 5. And 10 times 10 is 100. Okay, so then I'll just bring down the rest of it. So I've got my plus 60x from right there. And I've got my plus 2x minus 40. You know what? I might as well put these together, shouldn't I? 1,200 minus 40. Let's just put that together. That'll make 1,160. Alright, let's combine some more things though. So see this x squared? Remember, x squared is like 1x squared. And you can turn a 1 into anything you want. 2 over 2, 3 over 3, even 4 over 4. So this 1x squared is the same thing as 4 over 4x squared. But 4 over 4x squared plus 1x squared is 5 over 4x squared. Alright, so this is 5/4 x squared. Putting these x's together. Minus 5 and minus 5 is minus 10. Okay, plus 60. So I have negative 10, positive 60. That's positive 50. Plus 2 is positive 52x. Now it's time for the constants. I have this 1,160 plus 100, so it's 1,260. Is equal to 0. Alright, I'm not liking this fraction right here, so I usually will just multiply everything by the denominator real quick. Alright, so I'm multiplying everything by 4. That will cancel out these 4's. Alright, and I realize that's going to make some big numbers right now, but I will cross that bridge when I come to it. So, you know, 4 times 52 is going to be 208. So I've got 208x, and then 4 times 1,260. 5,040. Zero times 4 is 0. So these are some really big numbers. So I hope I didn't make a mistake somewhere along the way. But I'm definitely going to use the quadratic formula on this. So the quadratic formula says the solutions will be opposite of b, so that's negative 208, plus or minus the square root of b squared, so that's 208 squared, minus 4ac. All over 2a. Well, a is 5, so 2a is 10. Okay, I like to calculate the number under the radical by itself next. So let's see. So we've got 208 squared minus 4 times 5 times 5040. Oh, look at what we have here. Negative 57,536. Do you know what this means? Do you know what this means? It means we can stop doing this problem. Because this is an imaginary number, that means we don't have any real solutions. Alright, so we get to stop working and write no real solutions. Okay. That means we must be in that situation where the circle and the line just don't intersect each other at all. They don't have any common solutions. Okay, pleasure doing business with you. These problems are always so long and tedious. They are exhausting. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video, guys. Here endeth the lesson.